Rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Alberto Calderon. On the other side is our co-host, Oti. Oti, how are you doing? I almost hit the Halloween song that I used last time. I'm glad I missed it.
I know it was fun.
Yeah.
I saw you got over your delay.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
You got out of mute ahead of time?
Yes.
Whatever.
We'll see. We'll see what happens as we go on. It's been a week. We were off last week. I'll say it feels like a month. I haven't talked Star Wars. It's not like there's a lot of Star Wars news, but it still felt like a long time. It's good to be back here.
I was thinking last week, I did an episode for the Tales of Light and Life.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I haven't been like... I've honestly been a little bit disconnected from Star Wars. I don't care. Not that I don't care about Star Wars. I just don't care about what's happening.
There's nothing happening.
But I don't care for the discourse. Like, they're not announcing anything. Like, I'm just here waiting for the next story. I'm looking on an island, just waiting for adventure to hit me.
I see the island. Sometimes that's enough, right? We need a break. We can be 24/7 on this, especially online. I see now. I'll wait, but now that everyone's able to talk about everything, it's like, I know, okay, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, the thought came to my head. I listen a lot to Ken Napzok, and he was talking about how the strike kind of changed him, and if he doesn't know about how it's gonna go jumping back. And at first I was disappointed, but I was like, I think I'm in the same boat. So let's see.
Okay,
like,
interesting.
I don't want to stop podcasting. That's like not what I'm saying, but I don't know. I'm on a different stage.
All right, interesting. It's been a while, I'll say, since I've listened to Ken and all this stuff that he's doing. I know he got like 20 different things going on. But yeah, even myself, if I'm gone for a week or two, just taking a break, just coming back is always kind of getting into another habit. So getting back into this and also trying to find what to talk about and how to talk about everything that's going on. It's something, but we'll get into it today and we'll see what happens. All right, for everyone that's here today, thanks for joining us. Make sure that you hit that like button, that thumbs up. And if it's your first time joining us, thanks for being here. As always, make sure you're subscribed to our channel so you don't miss any new episodes when we drop them on Saturdays or whenever. You never know what might happen. And if you're listening to this later on the audio podcast, thank you. Give us a rating, review. And if you're watching this when it drops afterwards, just leave us a comment down below about all the topics we're going to be talking about. About the strike, what's your thoughts now? The strike is over. Things are hopefully getting back to a little bit normal, at least for our end. What are your feelings? What are you hoping to see out there? All right, Oti, before we start, anybody out there in the chat?
Obviously Subdued. He wrote while I was just like waiting here. I was playing bass, and I saw like the message pop. I was like, "Wait, are they listening to me?"
Oh, that'll be perfect.
Yeah. There he is, Brennan, the man, the myth, the legend.
Brennan
saying, "My favorite Star Wars hero is Rey Skywalker. That's her name. That yes, it is. That's her name.
All right.
One of my favorites. We also have Alan. Hello, Alan. Still in deal.
Alan.
Probably be talking about it. And of course, it wouldn't be Radio Rebellion.
Without Dale. Dale's like
Dale, you came in late. You're usually the first one.
Hey, hits. I know. Dale, thanks for being here. Or everyone that's been here today, thanks for joining us. We're going to have a fun day today. All right, so if you guys are ready, I'm not ready. Let's talk Star Wars. I went too quickly. Let me try this again. I don't know. I thought I was going to say something else, because I wasn't ready for my clip, but if you guys are ready, I'm not ready. Let's talk Star Wars and Star Wars news.
Star Wars news.
I jinxed it.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I tried to unmute myself right as whatever.
I realized we can do it ourselves. So
yeah, it depends. Some videos it doesn't. Anyway. So
I wanted to make 2 life updates. Three
let's
life updates.
go ahead.
Okay.
Start with your life
As,
updates.
as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I was doing some Wi-Fi changes.
Mhm.
So let's see if I get stuck, don't get stuck, whatever happens. But trying new things. I also had some lighting changes. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
very that noticeable, but it usually like very dark over
Yeah.
there. And now I've made some changes to the thing, so I don't know if anyone minds. And the other thing, Alberto, it's the time of year where we're in different time zones.
Oh, that's right. We should have mentioned it. It's like 6 o'clock already over there. It's only 5 here.
Yeah. It's that time of the year when I walk out of this room and see darkness,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's here also with the time change. As soon as we're done, it's gonna be dark outside. At least by 6:30, it's already dark. It
I mean,
sucks.
dude, over here it's getting dark like at 5:30. I
Wow.
had never seen anything like that. It's even scary. Like the other day, I walked out of the office. I was like, "Did I work? Did I lose
When
track
overtime?
of time?" It was 6.
Wow.
So
Yeah. So I will say so far, connection is great. Hasn't jinxed anything. Lighting is fine, so we'll keep it there. I usually there's enough light coming from this window here that I have to cover it. Right now it's not covered. But if I turn on my ceiling fan, then for some reason the way I have the computer set up, like a blue light starts shining. So that's why it's a bit dark back here.
I also wanted to mention, like, I fixed the lighting problem over here the week I have a frigging Sid.
Oh man, let me see if I can open. Whatever. You don't need to see
soda,
like.
kids.
Yeah, it's bad for your skin. You gotta do a like, skincare every night, sometimes in the morning.
As a teen, I never had like acne problems, so I've never really taken care of my face. My girlfriend's always like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, nothing.
Good genes. I used to be like that, but for gaining weight. Growing up, I was always a skinny one. I would just eat whatever. And as soon as I got married, that changed pretty quickly. And now I have to run constantly to try to. Anyway.
Yeah,
And I did have acne growing up.
This is my tale that I've been drinking soda. Always happens.
All right, so we'll keep the seat update, and next week we'll check it back.
We'll be there next week.
All right, so Ote, I don't know, it was sometime around midsummer, late summer, I can't remember, over 118 days ago. More like 130. I said, you know what? There's this strike going on. We're still gonna be doing our show. We're gonna keep that scroll down there going until the strike is over, just to show our support. And finally, I can say we can take that down. No more need for it because the writer strike and now the actor strike is over. Finally, they agreed. I guess the studios agreed to most of the demands, or the main demands. I haven't read what the big decisions were, but basically a lot of more protection for background actors, more pay, all this stuff about getting digitally scanned and then used in perpetuity and whatever without getting paid. And of course, a lot of AI considerations. So yay, finally actor strike is over. And we can hopefully start getting more Star Wars news. How are you feeling about all this?
I'm glad the strike is over. I'm glad people are gonna get paid what they should get paid. That people are gonna get to go back to work. Because sometimes people say like, "Oh, it's just a long vacation." Like,
Yeah.
No, I would get bored of not working. So, happy like people can move on, and hopefully this won't happen again for a long, long time.
Yeah, I know they have in about 3 years or 4 years they have another negotiation, but hopefully it doesn't get to that.
I saw a lot of people like very cynical, like, "Oh, we'll just be here again in 3 years." Like, the last strike was when, like 2008 or something like that. Like,
yeah, I'm sure
the contract usually just like gets auto renewed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm sure this happened because I have no idea, but I'm guessing that that's some of the things I probably talked about. Do enough stuff that they don't have to be again here in 5 years.
The reason why these strikes happens and the contract doesn't get renewed is because like the labor force will be like, "Hey, our conditions are different than for 3 years ago. Like things have changed. This like and makes sense. Like 3 years after the pandemic, people are like reevaluating.
Oh, yeah.
They look what they want from work. So it makes sense that actors, writers, even the directors were like, hey, no, the contract we have in place is not going to be enough. So hopefully in 3 years it will still be enough. There was another thing. I think it's more possible with the writers, because with the AI thing, I can't remember like all the details, but I do remember that at one point it was like, hey, we know we can't agree on this, so just like do whatever you want and we'll just sue you when we get to it. And I don't think the actors did that, so like awesome that they actually got a deal there, versus writers where it was just like agree to disagree.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah, but hopefully it won't get to that next time.
Yeah, man, I'm working at the new university. I get a bunch of emails because they want to get into AI and this AI consumption and all this other stuff. It does have to do, of course, with the actors and all that stuff, just AI, I'm guessing, for other uses. But still, it's like every time now that we see those two little letters, it just brings all this negative connotation. Because it can be used for a lot of positive things in not the art world.
I mean, like, I'll mention this. I use ChatGPT for work, like, all the time. Like, sometimes I'm documenting something and I want just like an idea of how to start. So just like, hey, ChatGPT, how would you approach this? And my office has also developed an AI thing, but it's more for research. It's not really doing. It's like, hey, go here. But yeah, like it has a lot of uses. Even for the Beatles song, people were like, no, what are they doing? It's like, no, dude, we're trying to split two sounds in one track. Like, calm down.
And I did hear, I should say, from my work, they had a big meeting, a retreat, and they were saying about using AI to help write something, to get investigators kind of in the right track of how to start certain things. So it can be used for other stuff, but not for this, not for writing movies or TV shows or for actors to be replaced. Yes.
Yeah, Alan mentioned this. Tag and Yahtzee, which has to do with animation. Like, they're probably next. So
get on those unions, guys. All right, so bringing now this to a little bit of Star Wars talk. Now that Ahsoka's over, Marvel,
seeing all these pictures.
Yes, all this behind the scenes. Hopefully they'll announce a Disney gallery for Ahsoka soon. There's so much stuff. That's the one, just to get all the Hayden Christensen things, all these background pictures that we're seeing from Iman. It's a lot of stuff.
Man, but I'm thinking about the one for Kenobi, which was like, okay. Yeah. Did you see the picture of Lars smoking a cigarette? Like,
I just saw it about an hour ago, just lounging there. And they painted him blue. I thought everything was CGI. He was painted blue.
No. That's strong if he smoked. Like,
That's the first day that he got to Pereira was just give me a smoke. I need something. What am I doing here? But Loki's done, and we know it kind of goes Star Wars MCU. We know that. Sorry, what?
It's time for Star Wars.
It's time for Star Wars, so I don't know. I don't think we're getting anything this year's. Skeleton Crew should be the next one. We know Echo has been announced for the MCU, but that's all dropping one day, which is surprising. And I think that's early in January.
Like an experiment they're doing.
Yeah. So where do you think, or what you would hope that Skeleton Crew gets announced, or we get some, I don't want to say trailer, because we know Star Wars likes to keep their trailers for a little bit closer. But do you think maybe a date gets announced at some point this year, and then let's say by February we get Skeleton Crew?
Knowing Star Wars, they'll just post a poster and be like, January 3, like, tune in. I hope they just release the trailer like one day. Like, nobody's expecting it. No Good Morning America. Just 10 a.m. Star Wars official Twitter. Boom, trailer.
Didn't they do that for Kenobi for the first one? There was something that they didn't announce it. It just kind of dropped on a random Tuesday. Can't remember what it was, or it was a while back. I'll take it. Give me something.
Just do that. Like, build hype by not building hype.
Yeah, and Skeleton Crew is one of those. I'm interested to see what this is. We have no idea. It's new characters, which is why I've been complaining about for a long time. So new characters, kind of a new side of the galaxy. Give me some Skeleton Crew, kids, Amblin style, Stranger Things. We need a little bit
They're
of change.
apparently going to Peridia.
All right. If they get to Peridia, I'm going to smack you across the face, like you said.
I'm gonna be like, okay.
It's just a thought. All right, so let's keep going. Our second kind of news item for this week, and we're going to talk a little bit about Phase 3 of the High Republic. We got some concept art. I know Alan out there is a big fan of the High Republic, so we got some new concept art for Phase 1 characters, new Avar Kriss, Portalengo, Buriaga, Vernestra, and of course the bad guys, Gira Saros and Markion Rowe, and I forgot to mention Bell and Ember. It's been a year, but it looks like it's taking its toll on a lot of them because they look a lot more mature. I know Phase 1, I don't know how long Phase 1 was. They say 1 year and then another year here.
Did you see the 9-year thing for Phase 3?
No.
So I didn't send it to you because I didn't know what the source was. I saw a picture that had like the High Republic logo and it said the year span, and it was 9 years. But I didn't know what book it was, so I didn't know if it was like an official thing. But yeah, I was like
the whole thing took 9 years. I'm
like,
guessing
no, Phase 3. It had the High Republic logo, said Phase 3, and the year span was 9 years.
Of the stories inside Phase 3?
Apparently.
Wow.
It just said Phase 3 and it was a 9-year span. That'd be so
having read Eye of Darkness, I don't know how this, I mean, who knows? But 9 years seems like too much to me right now.
So I was thinking, and maybe we can talk about this a little bit later, but like I was dying to read Eye of Darkness just to have an idea on what Phase 3 is gonna be. And then I started thinking, like, when I read Phase 1, I had like such a different like view of what the High Republic was gonna be. I could have never imagined the whole leveler Markion turning into this mastermind, the whole Path of the Open Hand thing. Like, so I got even more excited for Phase 3 because a lot of things can happen.
All right, so let me write something here, and we'll do a little chat. Let me write spoiler free. Let's talk about the Eye of Darkness real quick. All right, kind of off the fly. Yeah.
And regarding the character images, I mean, I have not a lot of context for them, but I'm excited. Like,
I like Porter's little helmet. Looks like a droid part. Now that I'm gonna talk about Eye of Darkness, they tell you that Avar Kriss has changed her outfit because she's hiding in the occlusion, so she's not gonna be there with her white and gold robes. I didn't expect this, but it's good to have those visuals now. Kind of thinking back to the book. All right, so let's do a quick spoiler-free review for the Eye of Darkness. Anyone out there that wants to go completely without any knowledge can just tune out for the next 5 to 10 minutes and then come back, or just put mute. And then when you see the little spoiler-free down there that's gone, then you can come back in. But I'll do my best just to keep it. So, Oti, I'm going to start. I love this book. The Eye of Darkness by George Mann. I love everything he did. I enjoyed Phase 2 of the High Republic. For me, it was a little bit of a step down from Phase 1. We're right back to Phase 1 status for me. Maybe it's the characters, or maybe it's the situations they find themselves in. But from the start, and this was in a prologue, they've released 3 prologues for this book. Some of them are very spoilery. I don't know if you read all of them.
No.
So I don't know.
Read the first one,
the Elsar Man one.
Yeah.
Which happens, I want to say, maybe chapter 1 or chapter 2, so it's pretty early in the book.
It kind of felt like I didn't really get what was going on.
So the book starts, the prologue, and it's the prologue, so I don't consider this too much of a spoiler, but this is the only spoiler thing I will say. It starts with, we're in now territory, so it's Martian Row doing experiments on a Jedi, using the leveler, the Nameless, to do experiments on this Jedi Master that they've trapped. And it's
is it one we know?
At least not someone that I know. To me, this is a brand new character. Pratre Vetter, I think it's Grandmaster Pratre Prat 3 Vetter, some weird names. So it starts that way, and so this book is gonna hit you. But I love that it's not what I thought it was gonna be in terms that phase 3 has been 1 year since the fall of Starlight. The Jedi Priest, they're gonna be kicking ass and taking names. This is not it. We're still trying to figure out what the hell happened and how to confront the Now. The Now are behind that storm wall that we learned during Tales of the Jedi. So the storm wall is this invisible magnetic field, basically, that you cannot cross it using hyperspace because you just get pulled out of it and you get crushed and destroyed. Or as soon as you get pulled into the occlusion zone, which is the Now space in Outer Rim, they're just gonna blow you up anyways. And you cannot traverse it just through sublight engines because it takes you about 10 years to go through it. So basically, they divided the galaxy in two: Republic side on one side, the Now galaxy or Now space on the other. But of course, using their path engines, they can go back and forth. So they're still jumping into Republic space and causing trouble for planets over there and then jumping back. So you have, on the Coruscant side, you have Elzar Mann and Lina Soh just feeling the weight of Stellan Gios's death, trying to figure out how to lead without him. We know that he was very close with both of them. Poor Elzar Mann is growing even a beard, so he's starting to look like Stellan Gios. He says that it's not on purpose, but halfway through the book, I'm starting to get used to it. So he's growing to that person now. But from that excerpt that we started talking, Elzar Mann is going to do some Elzar Mann stuff. You're waiting for it. I'm not going to spoil it, but
don't say anything.
No. But basically, Elzar Mann wants to bring the fight to the Now. It's been 1 year. We need to find a way across the storm wall because people are going to lose faith in us. We're just standing here. And Lina Soh wants to do it, but on a political way. Because from her point of view and also from the Jedi Council,
But she wants to be diplomatic with Martin.
So not to get too much into spoilers.
No. Yes or no?
Not with Mark and Rowe, but you have Senator Gira Staros. And it's more, she's on with the Now. She's telling Mark and Rowe, this is not sustainable. And let's try this.
Stop.
Hey, you asked. But it's not, it's pretty early on that they said that they want to have those conversations with someone from the Nile. So it's going to be the senator. But it's also the Republic, Lina Soh, and the Jedi Council telling Elzar, dude, we understand that this is a big problem, but the galaxy is still moving. There's other issues that we need to address. It's not just the Now. So it's trying to find that balance. We get, I'm not going to say who it is, but we get the reveal of who was the mysterious person that showed up with Yoda at the end of Midnight Horizon. Okay. They play a part in this book, at least I'll leave it there. And then from the Now side, we get introduction of some cool characters, these ministers. So we have the Minister of Information, which I believe that's Gira Staros, Minister of Defense, and Minister of Advancement, who's this Bulio character. What?
You're giving too much away.
But this is just, okay, go read the book.
Yeah, no, you're just, I just wanted to know what to expect.
So don't expect a book a lot of big.
Well, if you were to compare it to one of the novels that already exists, which one would you compare it to?
Oh man, it's more or less not a novel, but After the Fall, is it the Claudia Gray story on Tales of Light and Life that they're trying to figure out how to move forward? So it's kind of that. You have Jedi on the Now side behind the occlusion zone trying to find a way to get out. And then you have Jedi on this side trying to go in. But it's not that easy because they can't find a way to it. Plus, they still need to figure out how to keep the peace around the barrier to the storm wall because they now can still jump back and forth. And from favorite
character from the book?
I like that we got a lot of Ava Chris because she's been relegated a lot to the comics recently. We got a lot with her.
Oh, really?
her and Elsa, I think, are my favorite. They're from the Jedi side. There's the one that get the most screen time, quote unquote.
Okay. So
Um,
it's more of a Elsar and Avar story.
you wanna know who the main characters are? I don't think it's a spoiler.
No,
Just seeing if they release the concept art. So these are the characters that show up. From the Jedi side, is mostly Elzar, Avar, Porter. We get a little bit with Bell and Buriaga.
okay.
Lina So has a lot to do with it, so she's pretty good in the book.
Okay.
We get a little bit of Yoda and some new council members, and then on the now side it's Mark and Rowe, Gira Saros, and these new, instead of Tempest runners, are these new ministers basically, which are these characters doing stuff for him. So
don't give specifics.
Mhm.
Are the Tempest Runners around?
They're not mentioned, at least on this book.
Oh, really?
Yes. I don't know if if that's a spoiler, but they're
Does the book mention what happened to them?
you want
No, yes
they don't
or
mention it.
no?
They don't mention it.
Okay, so okay, cool, perfect.
There is
I'm
a
surprised.
character
I'm missing Lorna.
So that's one of the things on my written review that I wrote is I miss my Tempest runners. I don't know if they're gonna show up somewhere else. I did miss them in this book.
And the Talpini and the mech suit.
Yeah, there might be somewhere else. There's a lot of comic books that what is it? Something
Lorna
Starlight, Fall of Starlight, or Tales of Starlight.
We've actually seen pictures of Lorna D. So
yeah, she's on comic book covers.
Yeah. Okay. Are you excited for what's next?
Excited for what's next?
What's next?
Yes, because not getting into spoilers, I love the way the book ended. It's a word that's spoiler if I say
no, don't say it. Don't say it.
I really like the way that this ended, and I'm very excited for the next stories. I'm very sad that I need to wait till like March for the next book because sorry again, I can't get into all the comics. Maybe I know there's one that's only 4 issues. I might get into that one. But I just want the next book here because I'm like, go, go, go. I love this. Mo is here. Hi, Mo.
I'm thinking about how to phrase this question. Okay, yeah. Without specifics. With each of the novels specifically, there are certain points where I go like, oh, this is probably where the YA is gonna go. Oh, this is probably where the young reader is gonna go. Is there like a moment like that in the book?
I think if you know which ones they are, because by knowing the titles of the next novels and books, you can piece a little bit. Okay, I think this is gonna. There's something. I have one concern, not one concern, just one negative, and I won't say it here because it will be a spoiler. But I think it will be addressed somewhere else, either in the comics. I think there's a book, and by the title, I think that's going to be there. But that book doesn't come out till fall of 2024, which I think waiting a year for that to be revealed is too long. But again, we got so many comics and stuff. But I love that there's a lot of characters, but the way the book was divided is like the first third is mostly Elzar Mann, Lina So, and then the Nile. Then the second part is mostly Abel Chris, Porter Engel, and what the Nile are doing. And then the third third is everything together.
Okay.
So a lot of cool Jedi moments, a lot of cool Nile moments in terms that you hate smart young character. It's something that he does that you just want to. I hate you, but you're so good.
There's
great
always
villain.
Something that he does.
Yeah, I mean it's the anniversary of Starlight Beacon's fall.
Oh, he must be so happy.
Yes, and not as I won't get into, but the Republic is like, no, or the chatter says that nothing's gonna happen, and also it's like, really? Yeah, no, we're good. We got
enough
defenses, and then we'll see what happens because it's one day. But I love this book. I love everything about it. Josh Mann, which I wasn't the biggest fan of, but of Jeddah, this is it. He did a great job getting us going. And I know, and I put this straight like this on my review, I know that one of the biggest concerns for people is how much I need to read to get into the High Republic, and I just jump into phase 3, and most people will say no. And maybe I'm just saying this because I know everything that has happened before, so it's easier for me. But I got a feeling of watching A New Hope for the first time and reading the crawl and reading about these Death Star plans that were taken and hear about the Clone Wars for the first time, and you weren't lost. There's things that happen. I think he does a good job kind of setting what has happened in phase 1 and phase 2, that even if you haven't read all these stories, you will get the gist of it and go, yeah, Stellan Gios, I don't know what happened to him, but apparently he was a very important character and Jedi. Just gonna be part of why Elsar Man is acting that way that he is. All right, so I'll leave it there. Sorry if I said too much. I don't think I did. Hopefully not.
I'll let you know when I read the book.
All right. Yeah. No, I don't think I spoiled any big moments are still there. So when is it? November 14th, which is next Tuesday, right? Next Tuesday is when this comes out.
Oh, it'll get here in 1,000 Tuesdays.
Hopefully we'll do our own spoiler review early in December or something.
Sounds good.
All right, Oti, so that does it for Star Wars news. So let's get to our main topic today, or one of our, main topics. Let's talk about Heroes of the Galaxy. There are so many heroes in Star Wars. That's what we're here for. But let's try to focus on a few of them. I've done enough shows talking about our favorite villains, favorite lightsaber fights, weird creatures, but we haven't talked about our heroes, which is what Star Wars is about, right? So what makes a good hero is, I guess, the first thing. It's kind of difficult, right? Is it just the main character? Is it someone working in the shadows? Someone that goes through trials and tribulations? But what would you consider if you're trying to explain to someone what a hero in Star Wars, or what qualities you look for when you're making your list for today's show? What were you thinking about?
I think there's only one answer. Luke Skywalker.
All right,
he's a hero. It's everything he goes through. Answering the call, being reluctantly answering the call, facing your fears, making new friends, unlearn what you have learned, throwing the lightsaber away at the end.
Yeah.
So it's for me, that's what a hero is. Whatever Luke went through.
All right, so before we go into maybe some honorable mentions and then talk about some others, let's just get Luke out of the way, because that's the easy answer and that's my top answer. And I'm gonna say, as we go, this is not gonna be a number 5, number 4, 3 to 1. I think it's impossible to classify Star Wars heroes that way, except Luke Skywalker. It's what the story is, everything he goes through. When people talk about the hero journeys, he's the prime example, right? The bright-eyed farm boy looking to the stars, wishing for a better life, and everything he underwent in the original trilogy. And then even going to the sequel trilogy, which, again, maybe Last Jedi is not my favorite, but everything with Luke, I love and makes sense to me. Screw the haters. And what?
Mo, Jim walks so Luke could run, first of all.
All right, no.
God bless you, Mo.
I might have Jean on my phone list, so we might get to her in a few minutes.
But for me, every single hero we get ties back to Luke. I'll measure them always next to him, and he's not even my favorite Star Wars character, but it's him. He's the guy. He's Jesus.
It's one of those things when growing up, he was the only hero. Not the only one, but when you watch Star Wars, for most people, I know now people like to say, Han Solo was my favorite and all that, but at least for myself growing up, that's what I identify with. Luke Skywalker was the only Jedi at that point. That's what Star Wars was for a young 8-year-old or whatever. It's what the Jedi go through. So Luke Skywalker has always been that top guy for me in terms of heroes and who's the top Jedi. Luke Skywalker, I think, is just going to be there for nostalgic purposes. But again, he's not my favorite character. Probably maybe not my favorite character of that Skywalker family. But in terms of heroes, if you need to point at someone, let's point at Luke Skywalker. How he got there, maybe was through stepping on Jean and Cassian's shoulders, but we'll see. So some kind of honorable mention.
And again, everything that happens in Star Wars is in service of his story. So
yeah,
it's him.
There's a reason it's called the Skywalker saga, right? We love Anakin and Rey, but
that's actually why I don't like the Skywalker saga, because it's everything is how we got to that point.
And it's still going. But also when you go to in the even video games, right? I haven't played what's the Battlefront 2, where he has this great conversation with one of the characters there. It's one of the top Luke moments that people keep talking about. Yeah, and Shadows of the Sith, what he does in Shadows of the Sith is another great example. And then, of course, Last Jedi, understanding the failures of the Jedi. We're still pushing through it to train Rey. Another talk with our friend Yoda to then step up.
Why isn't Adam Christopher writing another book?
Maybe he is. Why hasn't it been announced? He would do a freaking good, great High Republic book.
Oh,
he would crush that.
Oh, could you imagine, like, they do spin-offs after this is over, and like, boom, Adam Christopher is writing a Rowe family story. something
with
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, before the Acolyte, as we get ready for the Acolyte, he writes a tie novel for that. Oh, that'll be freaking awesome. And because I will say, I don't think that High Republic, even after Phase 3, I think they're gonna keep doing something afterwards. I don't think it's ending with
Michael Siglain. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
He was like, "Stay tuned. Like, we got you." This is making money for us. Relax.
Yes. You know when he was gonna write a Mandalorian novel that we didn't know if it was gonna be a phase, season 1 or season 2, and then we're just gonna write Shadows of the Sith. Which, thank you, that's a lot better.
That's how it panned out.
So some honorable mentions that I have, and people might yell at me, and that's fine. And if you're in the chat, apart from yelling at me, let us know, like Mo said, some of your favorite heroes. So I have Han Solo in my honorable mention. I know he was one of the big three, but I wouldn't put him in that category right now. Qui-Gon Jinn is right there for me. This is gonna sing Anakin Skywalker. I
think he should be discussed.
All right, let's talk about Anakin Skywalker as a hero of the galaxy after 5 years or 10 years of killing everyone.
Anakin does something a lot of us can't do. After decades of lying to himself, he manages to break that spell he built for himself, and that's the nicest thing I'll say about him.
Do you? Okay.
No, he's of course a cautionary tale. He did atrocious things, but he was also a guy who cared a lot, and that was his fatal flaw. Like, he cared way too much, and in that sense, he would do anything for Ahsoka. He would do anything for Kenobi. And I think, of course, his most heroic act is what he does at the end. He manages to break free of the dark side and embrace the light in him, knowing full well it's gonna kill him. So yay.
All right, we'll get him. He did a lot of cool things during the Clone Wars.
Oh no! If it's cool things, like he's one of the coolest.
I'm sure he did some war crimes also during the Clone Wars.
For sure.
But I mean, probably almost all the heroes have. So I don't know. I can't put on that list of, when I think about heroes, Anakin Skywalker is not there. He did a very heroic thing at the end. Maybe the most heroic, like you said, just coming back from his fall to then.
He's not the prime example of being a hero, but I think he's a hero.
All right, that's fine.
At the end of the day, he's also a villain.
Yes.
He's a better villain than he is a hero.
Oh, yes, of course.
But
this is going to get blowback, I think. And I have Rey Skywalker. Still not in my top. I'm waiting for her movie coming out to see if I move her to my... Okay, again, yell at me. Tell me why I'm wrong. Rey Skywalker should be there. She defeated the Emperor.
Rey Skywalker. Wow, Rey. she rejects the call constantly until it's very obvious to her that it's her call to answer. I really like Rey's journey. She for the first two movies, she's like, I want to go back.
I'm out of here.
Like, I don't want to be here. Like, I came here to give you the sword. I don't want to do it. But every time people depend on her answering the call, she does. Like in Force Awakens, she's like, screw it, I'll do it. She picks up the lightsaber and kicks Kylo's butt. In Force Awakens, in Last Jedi, she does the same thing. She like, oh, Luke, you're not gonna come? Fine, I'll go and I'll give the sword to Kylo. Oh, Kylo, you're not taking it? Then fine, I'll do it myself. And then in Rise of Skywalker, she finally embraces her role as the leader of sorts. I don't know, and she's one of those characters that for me is completely incorruptible. Like,
oh yeah.
And
I hope they keep that. I hope we don't lose that for
if they ever do this story where she falls to the dark side, I'd be like, and here's my curse word, I'd be like, this is bullshit. Like, no. She never. I don't think she's ever in danger of falling. Like, even when she learns the Palpatine thing, even in Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi, when Kylo's like, hey, join me. I don't think there's ever a scenario where she breaks and it's like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, so yeah.
All right.
I love Rey.
I love Rey. I mean, there's a reason Force Awakens is one of my favorite movies, and it's Rey has a lot to do with it. It's either everyone has to be on this list, so I need to put a cutout on somewhere. Unfortunately, she was there. And again, I don't know, these guys, I have Mon Mothma, Bail Organa. Again, they did a lot to get the rebellion going. And then I'm going to throw these two out that they almost made the cut, but they're still on this honorable mentions. Luthen Rail, of course, kind of from the background. And
those are normies.
Yeah. Tala Durith. I think Tala Durith did something very important, dropping away from the Empire, helping the Jedi find safe space with this corridor. I forgot the name that she was doing, and then not sacrifice herself, but die at the hands of the Empire, trying to get Obi-Wan Kenobi, Leia, and all the other rebel members away from this planet before Darth Vader gets there. I think she deserves at least a mention on those honorable mention, guys. All right, so we already talked about Luke Skywalker. Let's talk High Republic. So I'm gonna throw in here Stellan Gios as one of my favorite heroes of the galaxy. From the Rising Storm, and we saw it just from the cover with the lightsaber spinning, saving Lina So, cradling her at the end of that huge battle, to then sacrificing himself trying to save everyone from the falling starlight beacon. I think you can. Stellan Gios is. Why is he dead? I want more. But he's one of my favorite Jedi for the little bit that we go with him, and he's one of my top heroes.
He's dead because Elzar and Avar need to grow.
Yes.
Avar was this hero that we thought was, like she was done. Like there was nothing more to her, and in the comics, she's taken on a wild ride. Where that character goes, and Elzar man is extremely immature. So Stellan, he needed to die.
I wonder if that will be mentioned in Eye of Darkness.
He's someone I like because he's someone who's. I think his biggest conflict is the fact that he desperately wants to do the right thing, but sometimes is not sure what the rightest thing is. And that like breaks him apart a little bit. So that's something I like about him. Like for example, like when the Chancellor asks him to be this symbol and basically start politicizing the order, he's like. He's seeing the benefits and he's saying like this could be the best thing for us, but at the same time being like, I don't know if this will be like bad in the future or something. So
I just love how, like you said, again, after the end of the Rising Storm, he's put in this pedestal Like he's our savior. Yeah, we have Ava Chris is the hero of Hetzal, Starlight Beacon, Marshall, this and that. But he's the guy that saved our chancellors. He saved the Republic. And you're gonna be doing all these talks and you're gonna be the face of it, and he has to, but he doesn't want to. And then we get all that into Fallen Star when it's just him. There's no cameras, there's no one, he doesn't have the force. He just is the person that he is, and he's just gonna save everyone and knows he's going to die, but knows he needs to do it. And I love him. And his passing weighs heavy in a lot of people. All right. So let's talk about your boy, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think he deserves a little bit. He trained Luke Skywalker. He trained Anakin Skywalker. He did all this important stuff. He saved Leia. Come on, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan is for me. Obi-Wan and Stellan are very similar. Obi-Wan's just a guy. A, he's incorruptible, and B, he's someone who's just constantly looking to do the right thing. He's sassy. He likes a drink. He's a ladies' man, but at the end of the day, he's someone who, whenever that lightsaber turns on, it's gonna do good. It's not there to, it's gonna hurt Anakin. But it's always to do the right thing, and he's also the hero of patience. He waited 20 years in the desert for Luke to be of age. And I freaking love Obi-Wan.
I love how he, like you said, he doesn't mind taking a drink and stuff like that. I love how he trains Anakin when Anakin's in those later years. Like, I'm just gonna let you figure it out. I'm just gonna hang back. You do what you need to do. When you need help, I'm here, but I'm gonna hang back. But like you said, he's patiently waiting on Tatooine. But when the call comes from Bail, hey, my daughter's been taken. I need your help. And he
says no. And then when Bail physically shows up, then he says yes.
Not a message, not anything. I'm here. I need to go find my daughter. It's like, I guess I'm back. You gotta love the guy. I can't find a single person that talks bad about Obi-Wan Kenobi, because you can't. And I think he's done a lot for this galaxy.
He's the best.
Put Ezra on a good path when he wanted to be there to just kill Maul when he didn't need to be there. Dude, just go. I'm trying to do the right thing. And didn't kill Maul out of hate. He just, dude, I'm trying to help you here.
And thinking about one of his best moments, for me, it's actually an animated moment when Maul kills Satine, and Maul's like, "Finally, I broke you," and Obi-Wan's like, "No, like, it's not gonna happen. Like, calm down."
It's one of the greatest rivalries in all of media. It's just these two, and from one end, it's like Kenobi doesn't give a crap about him. And that's what makes it so great, because Maul is like, this whole thing is, I need to kill this guy.
I don't even think about you.
You're still on this?
I feel extremely sorry for you.
Yeah. Oh, man. So when thinking about...
By the way, Mo has the best hero. I'm so sorry, Mo. It's Geode.
Oh,
hey, he's a navigator. You can have a bong with him. He'll save you if blasters start to like blast. He'll steal your wife. Apparently, he'll go clubbing with you, and that's Geode.
He's a shoulder to cry on. He will give you the perfect. Geode, man, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I can't believe they keep getting away with this, but they do. It's freaking Geode. It's the best.
Don't tell me.
No, I don't know. Can't wait for Geode to get back. So when I was trying to say, making the list and trying to figure out from the building of the rebellion, I guess, who to pick? Is it Bail? Is it Mon? Is it Leia? I think we have to go to Padme Amidala as a hero that maybe doesn't get too much kind of coverage when it comes to hero side. She, even though she handed Palpatine the reins in the Phantom Menace, she kind of knew what was coming. And I got to do something about this guy. I'm not going to just go along with it. And she learned quick. That's why she started to build this coalition of 20 planets or 100 planets. I can't remember how many she had. And Palpatine had to just take care of her. But I think Padme, it's, as a building block of the rebellion, it's a little push there. As some of the best.
I mean, and her children picked up a lot of good things from her. I love Padme. She's one of my favorites. Her sense of duty, like just, and she's like, I wish we had senators like this. You know, she'll, put on her dress, do the party, do the hair. But if she has to roll up her sleeves, pick up a blaster, and go fight, she's gonna do it. And a lot of our senators will probably do this, but on the bad guy side.
Oh yeah, they all do it. And look at Tarkin; he'll kill everyone, and Krennic, all those. Even though they're not senators, but we get it. We know what we're talking.
I mean,
that's one thing I wish.
Ted Cruz will probably like run away.
Oh, fucking no! They'll run. They'll just start running. Fucking, I don't want to get into that one. I did miss in the sequel trilogy, maybe a little bit more politics. We got a little bit in Rise of Skywalker with Pride, and they tried doing the board meeting, the Star Destroyer. But it wasn't as much as I would have liked, but I guess there wasn't any real kind of overarching politicals at that point. Everything was destroyed. I have one name here. I'm gonna throw it out, and I just want to start Travis. Do you think Yoda deserves a conversation in terms of heroes now that people hate Yoda for some reason?
Yoda?
I mean, he trained Luke.
He's not a hero, but I wouldn't call him a hero.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Yoda. He was. No, he ran.
For me, and this will probably be controversial. Q-Bug. I wouldn't even put Ahsoka here. Like, Ahsoka for me is just like on another level on what she is.
Yeah, I don't have Ahsoka on my list. I think I had at one point on my honorable mentions, but I don't have her. All right, so let's finish.
Just about Ahsoka. Like, she spent like 30 years running around the galaxy helping people, so of course she's a hero, but she's just like on another level.
Yeah, it's another type of hero. We can go to Rafa Marquez, just trying to find parts for the rebellion, but it's more for the main galactic conflict. But let's talk what Mo mentioned, and I put these two people together. It's Gene Erso and Cassian Andor. I think what they went through, especially after Andor, and seeing where Cassian came from, how much he was against getting involved until it was right on his doorstep, and he kind of saw that this was bigger than him and just trying to run away, get some money, and cash out. I think Cassian is very important again with this background, because in Rogue One, of course, he's already in the rebellion. He's just kind of this soldier trying to get the plans, but everything he went through to get to that point, and of course the ultimate sacrifice at the end. And very similar for Jim Erso, losing her parents, growing up with Saw Gerrera, showing everything that he did on that end, Rebel Rising, go check that out. Very similar to Andor in his TV shows. He's like, I don't want to get involved, right? Just if I don't look up, I don't see the Empire flags raining above it. But then after getting that message from her dad, it's kind of, I got to do the right thing. And of course, like Mo said, Luke stands on her shoulders, or because she walks, Luke can run. So I think Cassian and Jean put them together, and I can't wait for Andor season 2 to see how that plays out.
No, they're both reluctant heroes. They have to go through a lot before they decide to answer the call. But I think the important thing is that they eventually do, and save the galaxy because of it.
All right,
even though they'll never see it.
And they saw something coming, but it wasn't the explosion. Any other character that I left out? Do you think we might take a few minutes to discuss?
What was that?
Any other character you think we might put in this conversation?
Let me think.
No, I didn't mention Leia too much. She's very important, but I don't, for this conversation, I don't put her.
Leia Leia's like Obi-Wan. She will always do the right thing. She's again incorruptible. Not even her son falling will make her break. That sense of duty in that woman is astonishing. She is one of my favorite characters. Lando is a guy. He's kind of snaky, but he does this bad thing in Empire Strikes Back, but he's also doing it to save his people. And then he turns into a general and blows up the Death Star.
All right, let's finish up with this comment from Mo saying, Jin Cassian are the definition of this is a set, do not separate.
All right. Kanan. Kanan's an interesting hero because he goes around the galaxy doing good, and then when it's time to train someone, he does it even though he's not sure if he's capable. He just does it because he knows it's the right thing to do. So I love Kanan.
I could put Kanan up there again, and I don't want to say that if you sacrifice yourself, you're a hero, but he understood the message. It's at that point, it's bigger than myself. And yes, training Ezra when he didn't think he was ready, even when Ezra was showing those dark side tendencies, he was always there for him. And of course, then helping Sabine with the Darksaber and starting her Jedi path, as we find out. All right, so that brings an end to our Star Wars talk. But we're going to keep going for a little bit. In one of our newer segments, when we talk about something else, there's no Star Wars in a world between fandoms. 2 weeks for Doctor Who to return, Oti. 2 weeks. We're going to be talking about that here. But before we get to Doctor Who...
As I mentioned, I'll be watching.
You'll be watching. I can't wait for that. And you're going to be doing it on your own show. That's going to be awesome. Also with Tony over there. Let's talk about the Marvels real quick. I don't know if we want to keep it spoiler-free. Just came out.
Okay. Just came out.
Go ahead. You want to start?
I really liked it. It was fun. I like seeing them together. I thought the story was fine. It was kind of all over the place, but it's okay. But yeah, it's a movie that I sat down to watch and was never bored. It came, went, and I had a ton of fun with it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. It was everything that I needed it to be, and I just wanted to go sit down for an hour and 45 minutes and just have some fun. I didn't need this to be anything more, and it wasn't. Yeah, this have fun. It's a fun movie. I really like Captain Marvel. I love Miss Marvel. I love the dynamic between Kamala Khan and her family. So I wanted to see that, and all that just came straight from the TV show here. So I understand that
it really worked for me. I was afraid it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, I understand that art is subjective and everyone can like and dislike what they want. But I don't understand for the people that are rating on this movie because it hasn't gotten the best reviews in general. From what people that I follow, they really enjoyed it for the most part. I don't know what people were waiting or hoping for. I think after Avengers Endgame, MCU fans want everything to be Avengers-like this big world-changing event, and this was never going to be it. So I don't know what people were waiting for. This is fun. If you didn't have fun with this movie, I can't help you there. Everything with Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel. Yes, Miss Marvel. The relationship she has with everyone else, how she fawns over Captain Marvel when she finally sees her. The family dynamic work. Yeah, the villain wasn't the best, but you don't need every villain to be Loki or Thanos. She was there to just move the story forward. It's not about her. But I really enjoyed this movie. I can't wait to watch it again. I wasn't sold by the trailers, but I kind of mentioned to my daughter she wanted to go. She said yes, so I had an excuse to go yesterday. So I'm glad I did, and I want to watch it again whenever it's available.
I was going to say something that I forgot. I like that it wasn't like, so you just mentioned the whole people want it to be Avengers. I think Marvel itself is kind of in that loop as well, because I think every single one of the movies that we've had has had this huge CGI ending with
I love that
CGI
it didn't go that way.
CGI army versus CGI
Yeah.
army, beam in the sky, and with Quantum Mania, for me that was like, I'm tired of seeing this.
Yeah, I know.
So I appreciated that this movie wasn't that.
Mhm.
This movie had a different third act. I kind of didn't like a few things about how it wrapped up, but
Mhm.
I'm fine with it. It was also shorter. It was
Yeah.
under 2 hours, so I thought that was cool too.
Mhm.
I really liked it.
Yeah, the final fight against, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the bad guy or the bad girl. It kind of ended weirdly and pretty quickly. It's like, oh, this is it? All right, but whatever. I like the ending with, and again, non spoilers, but when Kamala then at the end, she goes and meets a few people, at least one person that we've seen somewhere
Oh,
else.
I
I did.
totally forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, that was cool. For me, it was like, I don't know. I'm not gonna spoil anything, so I'm just not gonna say it. But there was something there. I was like, really, this is what we're doing.
All right.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, I did enjoy this movie a lot.
So I did want to mention the villains' plan. What they are doing is awfully similar to what the villain in a Star Wars parody movie does. If you are fans of Spaceballs, you know what I'm talking about. It's super weird that nobody in the production went like, isn't this way too similar to this?
Where's my copy of Spaceballs? It's back there. It is. It is. It doesn't matter. I love the Flurkins. The little bit with the Flurkins.
Oh my god,
was great.
You know who was hilarious? That it made me forget about Secret Invasion.
Oh, Sam Jack.
Amazing in the movie.
Yeah.
He was.
It's like Secret Invasion didn't happen. It's like
it had no repercussions on his character. He was just Sam Jackson. Like no reference to what happened in the show whatsoever. That was super weird, by the way. Because that show did some things with his character.
Yeah. We get to go into Saber, this space station. I can't see a space station and not think of Starlight Beacon. I started watching Foundation, and there's a space station there that something happened. So I'm seeing space stations everywhere. But anyway, Miss Marvel, if you guys are kind of hesitant, go watch it. It's a great, it's a very entertaining movie. That if you want to go have some fun for an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, go watch it. And credit scene, great also.
It's unfortunate because, Brie Larson is Brie Larson, and people will say what they will say. So this is what upsets me about this movie. This is a movie that a lot of people went into it with the reviews already written. And the 2 weeks before it released, it was like, oh, it's gonna bomb, 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 and it's bombing. Like, it's bombing. Like, yes, you told me a month ago. Like,
yeah, and it also, it's so bad luck that the premiere was the day before the strike ended. So now they're having to show up at screenings to try to do some promotion.
All 3 of them will be in Jimmy Kimmel and
Monday.
Like Monday, like go promote this.
And they should. I'm surprised they weren't there on Friday. And again, there's nothing we can do about this, but box office doesn't equate quality of movie. And I know it doesn't matter because economics and for the studios to move forward with more of these type of stories, it's all about the bottom line, unfortunately. But give it a chance. It's like Solo. It's a lot there that people are not picking up. All right. Another MCU thing that happened this week was the finale of Loki season 2. We've been kind of raging about this season so far. And I'll say the same thing about the finale. These last 2 episodes were great. Poor Loki in episode 5, when Sylvie is pushing him, why do you want to save the TVA? Why do you want to do all this? And it's like, I just want to be with my friends. Why can't I be happy? Why can't I have friends? What am I going to do if they're not here? What's my purpose? And then the finale comes and breaks everyone's hearts as we see what his purpose was. I love this whole, because we've seen this before, on having to repeat the same thing, this Caddyshack thing. Not Caddyshack. Groundhog Day, that you're repeating the same things over and over to get it right. But I love the way that they did it. We don't need to see the same thing over and over. It's just how Loki has been at it for 1,000 years, basically, like doing the same things, trying to get it right to get to that ending. It was perfect. I love this season so much, maybe even more than season 1. And I don't know where this is going from here in terms of all the multiverse stuff, but I just love every single season.
I don't give a flying F about what this means for the future and will he show up in this and that. I love how this show ended. They could tell me this is an alternate reality and I won't care. I think it's a wonderful way to close his arc. Someone who has been so narcissistic and self-centered for a long time, and just getting to where this character gets at the end of the show. I found it inspiring. I found it heartbreaking. I was happy. I was sad. Like it was amazing, and I'm very, very happy with what Tom Hiddleston did. He's doing like a farewell tour. So if this is the last time we saw him as Loki, I'm completely satisfied. What a run!
I can't add anything. It was perfect. This whole season has been hitting on all cylinders. We've mentioned here also Owen Wilson, how great he's done. We got the reveal we kind of expected it was going to have to do with jet skis. But then just when he's there at the end and he said, you want to go? No, I'll just stay here a little bit longer. It's like, of course he didn't want to go back and see that this is what he was missing. But everyone knocked it out of the park. Trying not to spoil too much, even though all the spoilers are out there already. But Victor Timely and He Who Remains were great. I mean, take all the legal things away. This is a character that when he's on screen, it's very powerful. But
you can unfortunately be a great actor and a domestic abuser.
Horrible person.
So,
yeah. But yeah, Loki season 2 was there. And like you said, I don't care about anything else multiverse-wise. This is the only thing I care about.
Yeah, it was great. It was really, really great.
All right, so just some finishing touches for today. I'm almost done with Succession. I've got like 4 episodes left on season 4.
Did it happen?
Yes, he croaked. He's dead.
What a great episode.
It was great, and it was this week was a lot of parents dying in all the different shows and movies I was watching. Like Miss Marvel, they did not Miss Marvel, in The Marvels, they kind of touch on what happened to Monica's mom in WandaVision, and then him dying here just reminded me of my parents passing away years ago. So I'm like, I don't need this right now. I just want to have fun. But it's a great. The first 45 minutes, me and my wife are, is he really dying? Is that him? We're not seeing him. We haven't seen the face. Is this a fake out? And then we finally saw him. Wait, and we're like the kids, like, what's going on? Is he dead? I think no.
Did you know that was gonna happen?
No, I have no idea. Especially like that, out of nowhere. It's like
I started to see the. I had seen the first. I had seen the pilot like way back when, and never continued it. And when I saw the reaction to that episode, I then like went back to watch it. It was very similar to the Red Wedding, like, but fortunately I wasn't spoiled on it. Like I just heard like something huge happened in the show, and I was like, fine, I'll watch it. So the same thing happened here.
No, I have no idea. And then when you start thinking, there's hints. Every season he's getting worse
throughout
and worse.
the whole show. There's hints.
Yeah, because my wife asked me yesterday or this morning, like, did you expect it? It came out of nowhere. What are your thoughts? I'm like, I think there's been hints. It's been getting worse and worse every season, but I didn't expect. But it's like life. Things happen when you least expect them. When you're not there, the kids are getting ready for a wedding, and then this happens.
After his stroke, he's doing some medicine that the doctor tells him, hey, if you keep this up, you're gonna die. And when you think about it, the entire show is like a year and a half. Like not a lot of time passes in between seasons, so it makes like the fourth season is election the election day thing, and in the first season they're already in the primaries and everything, so it's not really that long. So that's something it came out of nowhere. It was amazing, and the show like takes a drastic turn from there.
So I got 4 episodes left We'll finish it by tomorrow, most likely.
Awesome.
It's a great show. I don't want to say I'm bummed that I didn't get into it when it started, but just enjoying it without all the drama out there. It's like, I'm loving this. I can't wait. And then I started Foundation. I only seen 3 episodes, so we'll see how that one goes.
I saw 15 minutes of the pilot of Foundation, and I really liked it. I don't know why I haven't continued watching it. It was interesting.
Go watch it. Foundation is great. It's a very... it's more Dune than Star Wars in terms of everything that's going on.
I mean, yeah, it's sci-fi.
Yeah.
I did want to mention before we go, I watched House of Usher. Alberto, I don't know what show you were watching. That show was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Like, okay. I get the Succession connections. I loved House of Usher. And then I watched Midnight Mass because I had not watched that show, and it was also sensational.
Midnight Mass is great. With Follow House of Usher, the last I knew this had something to do with Edgar Allan Poe's story. I didn't know it took me.
Every single episode is named after an Edgar Allan Poe.
So it took me like till about the 4th episode so every episode is a different one. The Black Cat ones, like I seen this before, and then with that Telltale Heart, I'm like, no, this is too much. And then everyone's. So it took me a while to get into it. The second half is a lot better. I think just the connection between the family, the thing that's connecting all these stories wasn't I didn't get too much into it. But the stories themselves, especially from Telltale Heart, which might be my favorite episode, and the ending was pretty good. Then it gets better. Just the first one, I don't know. First 3, not too much for me.
The first kill I thought was amazing, and then the other 2 was like they were fun, but I wasn't like, it hasn't lived up to it again. And then you get Telltale Heart. I was like,
Telltale Heart was, because that's when you see the dad just kind of out of it. I just want my pacemaker, whatever, to save me. Screw everyone else.
No, I really, really like it.
All right, with that, we'll put an end to our show this week. We'll be back next week, hopefully with some with some Star Wars news, because we haven't really heard anything about Star Wars official news in a way. All right, Otti, thanks for being here. Thanks to Mo, Dale, Brennan, Sup Dude, Alan, everyone else. Make sure you hit like just so we get more exposure out there. We'll see you guys next week. Stay safe. Be safe, and for light and life. You just had to end it with...